Welcome back. 3 years after President William Ruto took the oath of office, his Kenya Kwanza administration is presenting its report card to the nation. From slashing fertilizer prices by 67% to creating over 330,000 jobs with the affordable housing program, from strengthening the shilling against the dollar to enrolling 25.8 million Kenyans in the new Social Health Authority. These are the achievements the government says define its tenure. Tonight, we examine the administration's own assessment of its delivery record, the numbers they present as evidence of transformation, and what this means for ordinary Kenyans. This is what the government says it has delivered in 3 years.
I, William Samoei Ruto.
September 13th, 2022. William Samoei Ruto takes the oath as Kenya's 5th president, inheriting what his government describes as an economy burdened by debt, inflation at 9%, and a shilling on a free fall. His promise was simple but ambitious: transform Kenya from the bottom up. Today, supporters of the Ruto regime say the hustler president was not just making promises, he was outlining a blueprint: universal healthcare, affordable housing, agricultural transformation, and job creation at scale, amongst many others. While critics called it a populist rhetoric, government officials claim Ruto began delivering immediately.
The president is following the manifesto page by page. Each pledge made, he's implementing it.
According to the government delivery unit, the transformation began within months. Fertilizer prices were slashed from 7,500 shillings to 2,500 shillings per bag, saving farmers over 100 billion shillings in production costs. The secret, they said, was in subsidizing the production aspect of the food value chain, not consumption. Government also claims that the Hustler Fund launched successfully, injecting 74 billion shillings into 26.5 million borrowers, 2/3 of them the youth, the high default rate notwithstanding. The government further claims that inflation reduced from 9% to 4.5%, that the shilling strengthened against the US dollar from 160.8 shillings to the dollar to 129 shillings to the dollar currently. They also claim that the price of a 2 kg maize flour dropped from 250 shillings to 165 shillings per packet. According to the state, over 330,000 jobs have been created in affordable housing program. It is their narrative that results of President William Ruto's work speak louder than the rhetoric, since as a result of their transformation efforts, domestic maize production is claimed to have climbed to 3.6 million metric tons, while imports dropped from nearly 10 million tons to 3.3 million tons. This, according to the administration, has for the first time in years made food security a reality, not just a promise. By the second year, the inherited reality was smack on President Ruto's face, according to his team. Kenya owed over $80 billion, including a maturing Eurobond, which some touted would be defaulted. Those in his government argued that the previous administrations had always kicked the can down the road, while the 1966-born son of Kamagut chose a difficult path, which is fiscal responsibility. Today, the government documents what it calls a remarkable progress. A document from the Executive Office of the President about their 3-year scorecard says that, and I quote, "Through fiscal prudence and targeted reforms, the administration shielded Kenyans from external shocks and restored economic optimism." The National Treasury now boasts that the budget deficit has narrowed from 6.2% to 5.8% of the GDP.
President, actually, during the campaign, and I want to challenge you to go back to your archive, promised to get into that payslip, and he was voted by the majority of Kenyans, having heard what he had said. For instance, he said there will be a 1.5% levy for housing, both on our manifesto by then and on the Azimio manifesto. Where was the levy supposed to be charged?
To them, While critics focused on taxation debates, the administration quietly delivered transformational programs. Official government records show that the bottom-up economic transformation agenda committed 500 billion shillings over 5 years to smallholder farmers and MSMEs. State statisticians claim that informal economy absorbed 1.43 million new workers, accounting for 90% of all jobs created in 2023. Figures from the Labour Ministry show overseas employment expanded dramatically from 14,651 Kenyans placed abroad in 2022 to 452,447 by 2025, with remittances hitting 641 billion shillings, now Kenya's largest foreign exchange earner, according to central bank data.
We are producing more people into the marketplace than what we can actually absorb. That is not a problem of today. That's a problem of 20 years ago. High population growth rate. The United Nations say that our population growth rate was the highest in the world, not one of the highest in the world, but the highest in the world in the 80s and 90s and 2000s. So we are seeing that population growth. Our investment into education, where people now, we've empowered our people to get into education. The slowdown in the world in terms of the economy due to COVID, whereby the jobs growth was minimal, which we're trying to revive. So we've had that challenge. But for me, the future is not bleak. For me, I am seeing us changing the way we talk about jobs. It is not just about you finishing school and getting a job. It's about you finishing school and getting empowered to actually start a job. We've got the Nyota program, for example, that now we are rolling out, whereby people will be given money to start employment, to start jobs, to start companies where they can employ other people. You know what I mean?
June 2024 brought turbulence to the country, an awakening by the Gen Z population who demanded better governance. This is a season which State House today describes as Kenya's greatest test of democratic governance in decades. A generation raised on social media discovered their political voice. Their target, the finance bill and the tax measures the Treasury insisted were designed to stabilize the economy. Government officials argue the protests revealed both Kenya's democratic maturity and the challenge of implementing necessary but unpopular reforms. State House insists that while demonstration captured headlines, the administration's delivery continued uninterrupted. Even during this political turbulence, government agencies report that infrastructure projects advanced.
In 3 years, you cannot judge someone. Though William Samoei Ruto has done much more than what he was expected to do in 3 years. But then, this needs time. Rashi, that's why you see colliding with people who might not be able to understand you well. Because new introduced policy or an organization or something that comes new, people don't receive it well. People don't like moving from known to unknown. When you start coming up with the policies they don't understand very well, you start clashing. But if he had time now, given time in 5 years, he explains what he wants to achieve, he puts some things in place, he amends, he asks Parliament to put some laws in place that can allow him to implement his vision.
June 25th, 2024, tested Kenya's institutions in unprecedented ways. Parliament was breached, but according to State House operatives, democracy was upheld. Presidential advisors framed President Ruto's response as demonstrating presidential leadership, listening to the people while maintaining stability. Within 24 hours, supporters claim President Ruto demonstrated the leadership Kenya needed. He withdrew the controversial finance bill, which government defenders say proved that in Kenya's democracy, the people's voice matters. But presidential advisors say Ruto went further, using the crisis as an opportunity for national unity, forming what they call a broad-based government that brought together Kenya's political talent regardless of party affiliation. The cabinet restructuring that followed was not about politics. Government officials insist it was about performance. Presidential advisors say Ruto appointed technocrats and brought in opposition leaders, creating what they call a government of national unity focused on delivery, not partisanship.
Kenya, we have set up a standard, non-discriminatory standard. We gave President Moi after Kenyatta died, 1978, constitutional time. We amended the constitution when he's in presidency, and under new constitution, he finished his 10 years. Under the new constitution that we promulgated, the IPPG we put in place and so on, those amendments of 10 years. He had finished 10 years. And then we gave Kibaki another 10 years. As per the requirement of our constitution, we did the same to President Uhuru. Now, this has become a traditional now. It has become part of us. It has become cultural, traditional, and part of our Kenyans' political commitment. You cannot say, oh, 1 term or 2 term, because we gave Ruto must go, so and so must go. Even if he went, so what? Because you see, this is what matters most is what sort of stability, political stability do you want to put in place?
3 years in, government officials argue the numbers tell Kenya's real story in a manner that political rallies never will. Government claims data on 4,667 kilometers of new roads constructed, that 1.1 million Kenyans benefited from Inua Jamii, which is a social protection program, that 25.8 million Kenyans have enrolled in Social Health Authority, and that there are 297,866 digital jobs created through youth programs.
You know, there is context. To build even your own house, one standalone house, how long does it take to build a house? So you can't say that 200,000 and on day one you have 200,000. There is no magic, even if you have got all the money in the world. So context is important, all right? So the first thing that you have to do is you have to start construction. Construction on average takes 18 to 24 months. Okay, so we've been in government for 3 years. The first year was setting the policies and doing all those things. The levy came into play in 2013. We had a lot of court challenges in between. So effectively, when we've had continuity without any stop is since March last year, when we passed the Affordable Housing Act. And within that period of time, we have got over 220,000 units under construction. 220. 160, 170 is affordable housing. We have got now 50,000 units that are going to accommodate 177,000 students all over, whether it's TVET, it is KMTC, and so on and so forth. So that is a remarkable feat.
To demonstrate his commitment to improving the MSME landscape in this country, he set up a ministry of cooperative and MSME. This is the new ministry that he added into those ones that he inherited. And this ministry then now envisions his agenda and envisions his commitment to deliver, his promises. And so for the first time since independence, we have a state department that is focused and is charged with coordinating matters of MSME, the entire MSME ecosystem, promoting the growth and promoting the development and scalability of our MSMEs. This just demonstrates the highest political goodwill.
Salaried people are people who build the economies. Even in Asia, they made a conscious decision that we must develop this country. If you go to Dubai here, workers made a conscious decision.
Land and Housing Ministry officials report that delivery accelerated from 8,872 units in 2022 to over 160,000 by September 2025. More than just shelter, the program created over 330,000 jobs while boosting Juakali artisans through 4.4 billion shillings in ring-fenced procurement. On September 13th, 2025, William Ruto marked 3 years of what his administration calls unprecedented delivery. Government supporters point to the journey from a struggling economy to one earning international confidence. While critics may debate the methodologies, government officials insist the results are undeniable, maintaining that Kenya's economy is being steadily stabilized from the bottom up. Inflation is falling, jobs are rising, Arguably, food is more affordable and millions are experiencing gradual but tangible improvement in daily life. Ibrahim Karanja, NTV.